The story begins by setting the stage of two worlds, the prosperous Dahna and the divine Rena. 300 years prior, Rena invaded Dahna with its advanced technology and fearsome beasts, subjugating its people. Dahna was divided into 5 realms, each ruled by a Renan lord, beginning a long era of suffering and slavery. In the fiery, barren realm of Orbis Calaglia, the Dahnan people toil as slaves under the tyrannical rule of Lord Balseph. The oppressive heat and constant labor have crushed their spirits, leaving them with no hope for freedom. For many, death has become the only conceivable escape from their endless agony. A mysterious slave, known only as Iron Mask due to the metal covering his face, endures the harsh reality of Calaglia. He is unique in that he cannot feel pain and has no memory of his past. This makes him reckless, often taking on the burdens of others, much to the concern of his friend, Doc. A chaotic event unfolds as a Renan woman is pursued by Renan soldiers. The local resistance, led by a man named Zephyr, intervenes to capture her. During the commotion, Iron Mask gets involved, leading to a dramatic chase and a leap of faith onto a moving cargo train. Iron Mask awakens in a safe house belonging to the Crimson Crows, the Dahnan resistance. He learns they have captured the Renan woman, who is revealed to be named Shion. Zephyr, the resistance leader, is interrogating her, suspicious of why a Renan is being hunted by her own people. Shion is revealed to have a strange curse of thorns, causing anyone who touches her to be electrocuted. Zephyr believes she is key to Lord Balseph's plans. The safe house is suddenly ambushed by Renan forces, forcing the Crimson Crows to evacuate, taking Shioni with them as a valuable prisoner. During the escape, Iron Mask and Shion find themselves cornered. They form a reluctant alliance to fight off the Renan soldiers. Their combined efforts prove surprisingly effective. Shioni questions Iron Mask's motives for helping a Renan, sparking a conversation about his amnesia and lack of identity. A critical confrontation occurs when Shion unleashes a powerful blazing sword, which is revealed to be a physical manifestation of a master core embedded in her chest. The sword burns anyone who wields it, but Iron Mask, unable to feel pain, can handle it. Shioni uses her healing arts to mend his wounds, creating a unique symbiotic partnership. The group gazes upon Glanamede Castle, Lord Balseph's stronghold and the symbol of their oppression. Zephyr and the Crimson Crows see the blazing sword as their ultimate weapon, powerful enough to finally tear down the walls of their prison and achieve freedom for the people of Calaglia. Zephyr explains the true purpose behind the Dahnan's enslavement. The Renan lords are competing in a crown contest to gather the most astral energy, which is harvested from Dahnans via spirit cores. The winner is crowned the new sovereign. Shion's goal is revealed, to defeat all 5 lords. The party reaches Ulzebek, a hidden Dahnan settlement and the new base for the Crimson Crows. Zephyr begins formulating a plan to strike at Balseph while the enemy is in disarray. Alphen and Shion are given new outfits to better blend in, marking a fresh start for their mission. While running errands, Alphen and Shion discover the grim reality of Renan oppression, finding a dying Dahnan who sacrificed himself to hide a simple cooking pot. This event strengthens their resolve, showing them that even small acts of defiance carry immense weight in their struggle for freedom. In search of better equipment for Shion, the pair ventures to the ancient Fagan ruins. The journey forces them to rely on each other for survival, sharing food and learning to cook together. This small moment of domesticity helps to slowly break down the barriers between the Dahnan slave and the Renan noble. Inside the ruins, Shion finds a new outfit. As they prepare to leave, Alphen sees her and is momentarily stunned, though he hides his reaction. This brief, unspoken moment hints at a budding connection between them, moving beyond their purely tactical partnership as they prepare to return to the resistance. During a brutal Renan raid on Ulzebek, Alphen has a powerful confrontation with Doc. Doc argues for caution and waiting for the right moment, while Alphen, having seen the Crimson Crows' courage, declares his commitment to fighting now, believing the blazing sword is their best chance for freedom. Zephyr unveils his daring plan. The main Crimson Crow's forces will act as a decoy, creating a massive distraction at Glanamede Castle. This will create an opening for Alphen and Shion, the ace in the hole, to infiltrate the castle alone and assassinate Lord Balseph with the blazing sword. As the assault begins, Alphen and Shion infiltrate the fiery castle. Shion entrusts the blazing sword to Alphen, but reminds him that its power can only be unleashed with her permission. Their unique partnership is put to the ultimate test as they navigate the fortress, relying on each other to survive. The duo finally confronts Lord Balseph in his throne room. A fierce battle ensues, showcasing their combined strength. Balseph, enraged and cornered, reveals his monstrous power, but Alphen and Shion's teamwork allows them to hold their own against the formidable Renan Lord. As the battle rages, the astral energy harvested in the castle manifests as a colossal fire monster. Balseph merges with it, becoming even more powerful. Alphen and Shion must now face not just a lord, but a living embodiment of the suffering inflicted upon the Dahnan people. In a climactic final clash, Alphen channels a massive amount of astral energy into the blazing sword and defeats Balseph. The resulting explosion shatters the rest of his iron mask. As he sees his own face for the first time, he finally remembers his name, Alphen. The wall of fire surrounding Calaglia collapses. Alphen awakens a week later to learn that Calaglia is free. He and Shion visit the now dismantled Gates of Fire, a symbol of their victory. Despite her cold exterior, Shioni's gratitude and Alphen's compliments create a moment of genuine connection, though it's quickly interrupted by her thorns. A girl named Rinwell arrives from the neighboring realm of Cyslodia, seeking help from the Calaglian resistance. She is the sole survivor of a group sent by the Silver Swords. Her people are suffering under even more severe oppression, prompting Zephyr to agree to help, expanding their fight beyond one realm. The party, now including Zephyr and Rinwell, journeys toward the frigid realm of Cyslodia. Along the way, Zephyr imparts wisdom to Alphen about the nature of freedom and hatred, urging him not to become a slave to his own ideals or to the cycle of revenge, setting the stage for future moral conflicts. The group learns about the harsh conditions in Cyslodia. The realm is ruled by a surveillance state run by the Snake Eyes, who use Dahnan informants to spy on each other. This atmosphere of paranoia and mistrust makes their mission to liberate the people far more complicated than a direct assault. Upon arriving in a Cyslodian village, the party intervenes to stop Snake Eyes agents from arresting a villager. They are suddenly confronted by a young, skilled fighter named Law, who is revealed to be Zephyr's estranged son and a captain of the Snake Eyes. This shocking revelation complicates everything. A chaotic fight breaks out. Zephyr refuses to fight his son, Law, and is ultimately captured to protect the others. Rinwell is forced to reveal her hidden ability to use Dahnan astral arts to help the party escape, a secret she has kept her entire life to avoid persecution. The group regroups, now with a new mission, to rescue Zephyr from the capital, Cyslodia. Rinwell explains her heritage as a descendant of ancient Dahnan mages who went into hiding to escape persecution from both Renans and fellow Dahnans. She officially joins their cause. The party learns from Law that Zephyr is scheduled for public execution. The group decides to connect with the local resistance, the Silver Swords, for assistance. They navigate the treacherous city, where every citizen is a potential informant, to reach the Resistance's secret headquarters. The party meets Menancia, the leader of the Silver Swords. He is deeply suspicious, especially of the Renans in their group, but agrees to help rescue Zephyr. They learn that Zephyr is likely being held at the Snake Eyes headquarters, setting the stage for a high-stakes infiltration and rescue mission. The Silver Sword's hideout is ambushed by Snake Eyes, forcing the party to flee through underground waterways. It becomes clear that there's a traitor within the resistance. Despite the setback, their resolve to save Zephyr only strengthens. as they fight their way through the sewers. The public execution of Zephyr begins, presided over by Lord Ganabelt Valkyris. In his final moments, Zephyr delivers a powerful speech, not of defiance, but of regret and love, urging the people to hold on to what they cherish. His words are a final, poignant message to his son, Law. Just as Ganabelt is about to execute Zephyr, Law and the rest of the party dramatically intervene. The leader of the Silver Swords, Menancia, also appears with reinforcements. However, in a shocking twist, Menancia reveals himself to be Lord Ganabelt in disguise, having manipulated everyone from the start. Ganabelt, his deception revealed, fatally poisons Zephyr. A chaotic battle erupts in the plaza. Alphen and the party fight desperately to create an escape route while Law holds his dying father. Zephyr passes away in his son's arms, his final words unheard, cementing Ganabelt as their most hated enemy. Grieving and enraged, the party resolves to avenge Zephyr. Law, consumed by guilt and anger, is determined to kill Ganabelt. Rinwell, despite her distrust of Renans, agrees to help. The group, now officially including Law, prepares to assault Ganabelt's stronghold, the Reveal Prison Tower. The party storms the prison tower to confront Ganabelt. The battle is intense, with Ganabelt using powerful light and lightning arts. Law, channeling his grief into strength, manages to break through Ganabelt's defenses, creating an opening for the others to strike the deceitful lord. With Ganabelt defeated, Cyslodia is liberated. The party mourns Zephyr, with Shion's pragmatic view of war clashing with Alphen's grief. After a heartfelt conversation where Alphen invites him to find his own path, Law officially joins the group, deciding to see his father's fight through to the end. The party, now 5 strong, travels to the next realm, the lush and green Elde Menancia. The land appears peaceful and prosperous, a stark contrast to the previous realms. They are perplexed to see Dahnans and Renans seemingly coexisting in harmony under their lord, Dohalim. They are met by Kisara, the Dahnan captain of the Elde Menancia Guard, who invites them to an audience with Lord Dohalim. Dohalim presents his realm as a utopia of coexistence and claims to have no interest in the crown contest, suggesting they have no reason to fight him. During a tense dinner, Dohalim explains his philosophy of peaceful coexistence, claiming it yields more productivity than oppression. However, the party remains suspicious of his true motives. The conversation reveals a complex lord who seems to genuinely desire peace, yet still operates within the Renan system. A mysterious black cat leads the party to an underground cavern where they meet Migal, the leader of a resistance group called the Gold Dust Cats. He reveals a dark secret. The Dahnans are being fed a fruit of Helgen, which boosts their astral energy output but slowly kills them, a process called the Hollowing. Migal is revealed to be Kisara's long-lost brother, previously thought to be a traitor. He explains that Dohalim is unaware of the Hollowing plot, which is being orchestrated by someone close to him. He asks the party to help him expose the truth to the Lord during a public inspection. During the public inspection, Migal confronts Dohalim and leads him to the underground quarry. There they discover a massive lake formed from the hollowing of countless Dahnans. Migal reveals the fruit of Helgen as the cause, sacrificing his own life to prove the truth to Dohalim. The horrific truth shatters Dohalim, causing his master core to go berserk and manifest a powerful earth gigant. The party is forced to fight him to bring him under control. After the battle, a broken Dohalim confesses he created his peaceful realm only to escape the guilt of his own past. Dohalim's advisor, Kelzalik, reveals his betrayal and stages a coup, expelling all Dahnans from the palace. Kisara, her faith shattered, is spurred on by Alphen to fight for her brother's dream of true coexistence. The party agrees to help her stop Kelzalik and reclaim the realm. The party confronts Kelzalik, who reveals his motive: disgust for Dohalim's lack of ambition in the crown contest. He seeks to restore the old order of slavery. They defeat him only for Dohalim to appear, revealing Kelzalik was conspiring with another lord from the realm of Mahag Saar. With Kelzalik's plot foiled, the Dahnans and loyal Renans rise up together to restore order. Dohalim, seeing that the people are now fighting for their own future, decides to join the party to end the crown contest for good. Kasara also joins, choosing to fight for her brother's dream on a larger scale. Now a party of 6, the group travels toward Mahag Saar. On the way, they are ambushed by a mysterious masked swordsman of incredible power. He seems specifically interested in Alphen. Shion is gravely wounded protecting Alphen, but a strange light emanates from him, causing the swordsman to retreat. They arrive in Niyaz, the capital of Mahag Saar, to find it in ruins. They learn that the Dahna resistance, the Dark Wings, led by a ruthless man named Ademi, have overthrown their lord Almedria, using stolen Renan explosives and sacrificing many of their own people in the process. The party meets Ademi, a brutal and xenophobic leader who despises Renans. His methods and attitude are no better than the lords they've been fighting. They learn Lord Almedria is on the run and decide to pursue her themselves, distrusting Daimi's ability to bring true freedom to the realm. While resting, Shion opens up to Alphen, revealing her true goal. She seeks the Rena's Alma, an artifact created by combining all 5 master cores, which she believes can cure her curse of thorns. This clarifies her motivations and strengthens the bond between her and Alphen. In a tense and emotional confrontation, Shion fully opens up to the group about her past loneliness caused by her thorns. She explains that the Rena's Alma is her only hope. The party, now fully understanding her plight, reaffirms their commitment to helping her achieve her goal, united in purpose. The Dark Wings announce they have captured Lord Almedria. However, it is a trap. During a public rally, Almedria uses the Fruit of Helgen to trigger the hollowing in the Dahnan crowd, transforming them into a colossal gigant that absorbs their astral energy and wipes out the resistance. The truth is revealed. Almedria was the one who murdered Rinwell's parents to steal their mage knowledge. Consumed by rage, Rinwell attacks, but Law and Alphen intervene, stopping her from being consumed by the same hatred that destroyed the crowd, urging her to find a reason to live beyond revenge. The party pursues Almedria, who has fled to a massive mobile fortress at sea. They learn from a local Dahnan sailor named Mahavar about her floating castle and secure his help to give chase. The final confrontation with the cruel and manipulative Lord of Mahag Saar is imminent. During the sea journey, Shion and Alphen share a quiet, intimate moment on the deck. They reflect on how their perspectives have changed and acknowledge their bond has grown beyond a simple alliance. For the first time, Alphen is able to touch her without being hurt by her thorns. The party confronts Almedria, who revels in her cruelty and mocks Rinwell's quest for revenge. She summons a monstrous creation, merging with it for a final battle. Rinwell, having found a new path, declares she will bring Almedria to justice, not kill her out of hatred. Just as the party defeats Almedria, the mysterious swordsman Volren appears. He reveals himself as the Lord of the Final Realm, Ganath Haros. He brutally kills Almedria, steals her master core, and then impales Alphen with his sword, triggering a catastrophic flood of memories. Alphen's full past is revealed. He was a Dahnan from 300 years ago, taken to Lenegis and made into the Sovereign for a ritual called the Spirit Channeling Ceremony. He was paired with a Renan maiden named Nyori, who is identical to Shion. The ceremony went wrong, causing him to destroy Lenegis. Crushed by the guilt of his past actions, Alphen falls into despair, believing he is a monster with no right to fight for freedom. The party, finding him washed ashore in Ganath Haros, tries to comfort him, but he is lost in his own trauma, unable to reconcile his past self with his present mission. The party members, one by one, confront Alphen about his despair. Law, Kasara, and Rinwell share their own past traumas and struggles, reminding him that he is not alone and that his past actions don't define who he is now. They urge him to find a new reason to fight for the future. Alphen, inspired by his friends' unwavering support, finally finds a new resolve. He accepts his past, but declares he will no longer be bound by it. His new purpose is to protect the bonds he has forged with his friends. The party is united once more, ready to rescue Shion and face their final enemy, Volren. With renewed purpose, the party arrives at Periodically, the capital of Ganath Haros and Volren's stronghold. Knowing Shion is being held captive inside, they prepare for their most dangerous battle yet. They are no longer just fighting to liberate Dahna, but to save a cherished friend and build a new future. Upon arrival, the city appears eerily deserted, lacking both soldiers and citizens. This unsettling emptiness immediately puts the group on edge, suggesting a potential trap or something unnatural at play. The pristine but lifeless architecture adds to the growing sense of unease about the true nature of this place. The group encounters Dahnans who are strangely docile, almost like puppets. This behavior is deeply disturbing, as it's clear they are not acting of their own free will. The mystery deepens as they realize this isn't the work of the Fruit of Helgen, but some other unknown form of control. A horrific scene unfolds as the docile Dahnans are sacrificed, their astral energy forcibly extracted in a public display of cruelty. This act is a clear provocation from the ruler Volren, aimed directly at Alphen to demonstrate his absolute and merciless power over life and death in his realm. The party speculates on how Volren maintains such complete control over his people without using obvious threats or the Fruit of Helgen. They conclude it must be a twisted form of loyalty, where subjects are manipulated into willingly sacrificing their lives, becoming puppets dancing to their master's tune. The group finds Shion, but her thorns have gone berserk, creating a massive barrier. The astral energy is immense, suggesting Volren is manipulating her from afar. To save her, they must first find a way to break through the impenetrable and constantly regenerating wall of thorns. Alphen, refusing to let Shion feel alone, pushes through the pain of her thorns to reach her. He reassures her that the entire group is there for her, breaking the illusion of isolation that was fueling her despair. This powerful act of connection begins to turn the tide. With Shion saved and their bond strengthened, the group discusses the lingering mysteries of their journey. They reflect on Volren's specific vendetta against Alphen and Shion's resemblance to a historical figure named Naori, realizing their paths are more intertwined with the past than they ever imagined. Shion reveals the source of her recent turmoil. Being captured brought back traumatic childhood memories of being feared and isolated because of her thorns. The experience caused a darkness to well up inside her, making her feel utterly alone until Alphen and the others brought her back. After defeating more of Volren's soldiers, the group reflects on the nature of loyalty. They realize that loyalty without independent thought is just another form of slavery. This hollow victory reinforces their resolve to defeat Volren and free the people from his mental and physical shackles. The group observes that Alphen's blazing sword is burning brighter than ever, a sign of his growing power as the Sovereign and his strengthened bond with Shion. While this new strength comes with almost unbearable pain, Alphen finds he can endure it, feeling the sword has become a part of him. After a grueling battle against one of Volren's monstrous guardians, the party feels the strain on their energy reserves. They recognize Volren's strategy is to wear them down with these encounters before they even reach him, forcing them to be more strategic about conserving their strength for the final fight. The party discusses their adversary, noting that Volren, the Lord of Water, presents a direct elemental contrast to Alphen's fire-based powers. Despite only ever fighting with his sword, he has proven to be a formidable and overwhelming force, leaving them to wonder what other powers he holds in reserve. In the throne room, Volren reveals his true motive. He has no grand ambition but is driven by a nihilistic desire for absolute power and a personal vendetta against Alphen. He sees everything and everyone as his to control or destroy, making the entire conflict a cruel game for his amusement. After a fierce battle, the party is shocked when Volren reveals he also possesses the Sovereign's crest, just like Alphen. This revelation shatters their understanding of the crown contest, suggesting the entire system is a ruse and that there is a deeper hidden truth about their world. With all the Master Cores finally gathered, the group attempts to form the Rena's Alma to free Shion from her thorns. However, the process fails to complete as expected. A mysterious Dark Master Core appears, hinting that the elemental system they understood was incomplete from the beginning. A month passes after Volren's defeat and the disappearance of the Rena's Alma. The group stays in Ganath Haros to help the liberated people, but they are haunted by unanswered questions about the two sovereigns and the mysterious Red Woman who interfered with their plans. Alphen confronts Shion about his destruction of the Rena's Alma, which was her only hope of being freed from her thorns. Shion reassures him, stating that his saving her from Volren was enough for now. However, she remains distant, hiding a deeper fear she cannot yet share. The party feels stuck and frustrated, realizing that liberating the realms was only the first step. The people's hearts and minds are not yet free, Volren's cronies are missing, and the threat from the planet Lenegis looms large, leaving them in a state of uneasy waiting. Dohalim uses his authority as a former lord to quell tensions between the remaining Renan soldiers and the newly freed Dahnans. This act highlights the deep-seated conflicts and the long road ahead for true liberation, as the Dahnans' desire for revenge clashes with the party's goal of a peaceful future. Alphen explains his philosophy to the vengeful Dahnans, stating their true enemy isn't the Renan people, but individuals who commit evil acts regardless of their race. He advocates for breaking the cycle of hatred to build a new society, judging everyone by their own actions. Tensions flare between Alphen and Shion, who is agitated by their slow progress, while a mysterious enemy is plotting behind the scenes. She lashes out, unable to explain the true source of her anxiety, leaving Alphen confused and worried about the growing emotional distance between them. The sky dramatically changes as Lenegas transforms, dropping a massive wedge into Dahna's ocean. A colossal beam of astral energy begins siphoning the planet's life force. The group realizes their fight is far from over, and that a new, calculated threat has just been unleashed upon their world. A startling revelation comes to light. The mysterious Red Woman has been seen with several of the lords before, yet Shion and Dohalim have no memory of her. This suggests a powerful deception is at play, one that specifically targets Renans and hides her presence from them. Kasara struggles with her past failures, but resolves to confront reality head-on. She acknowledges that Dohalim needs someone to push him forward, and she decides to be that person. Inspired by her brother's memory, she commits to helping build a better world without losing anyone else. The remnants of Volren's forces have been hiding in a cave, patiently awaiting their lord's return. The group realizes their devotion is more than loyalty, it's a form of total subjugation. This cult-like behavior reinforces the depth of Volren's manipulative control over his followers. The group discusses the massive structure siphoning Dahna's energy. They deduce that it must be part of a long-term plan, as something of that scale couldn't be built in a month. This implies the crown contest was merely one step in a much larger, more sinister scheme. Arriving in Cyslodia, the party reunites with members of the resistance. They ask for aid in managing the volatile situation back in Ganath Haros, freeing them up to deal with the immediate threat of the energy-draining wedge. The resistance agrees, promising to rally support from other groups. The group tracks down the sea captain Mahavar, finding him and his ship surprisingly intact after their last encounter. Mahavar reveals that Renan engineers, sent by the Dark Wings, helped him repair his ship, making it better than ever. He readily agrees to take them to the wedge. Inside the wedge, Rinwell begins to hear a mysterious voice that seems to be guiding them. Despite the high probability of it being a trap, she feels the voice isn't hostile. Trusting her instincts, the group decides to follow this strange guidance, as it's their only lead. After defeating the wedge's guardian, The structure releases a massive wave of astral energy. The party hears a collective voice, which they realize is the sentient will of Dahna's spirit. The immense concentration of energy within the wedge allowed the planet's spirit to form a consciousness. With the wedge neutralized, the party decides their next target must be Lenegis itself. Their only means of travel is Alphen's starship, which has been dormant for 300 years. They realize it must have been functional to keep him alive, so they decide to search for it in Calaglia. Cassara and Rinwell comfort a distressed Shion, reassuring her that she is not different or alone. They emphasize that everyone carries their own unique burdens and that true friendship means supporting each other through them. This moment of solidarity strengthens their bond before the journey ahead. Rinwell opens up about the guilt she carries over her parents' deaths, believing her use of magic led to their discovery. Cassara comforts her, suggesting her parents knew the risks but chose to empower her out of love, hoping she could defend herself and shape her own future. The group reunites with the leader of the Crimson Crows, who helps them locate Alphen's starship. They learn it landed near Berg Volcano, but the area is now home to a giant, powerful Zeugle that appeared after a meteor, one of the lights from the wedge, crashed there. After a tremendous battle against the giant fire Zeugle, the group reflects on its unusual power. They theorize that the creature was one of the 4 beams of light sent from the wedge, possibly a living spirit vessel meant to help harvest astral energy, and that they have now thwarted a part of the enemy's plan. The party finally finds Alphen's starship, perfectly preserved after 3 centuries. As Alphen comes face to face with this relic from his past, he feels the weight of being from another time. His friends reassure him that he belongs with them now, in the present they all share. As the starship prepares for takeoff, Shion confronts Alphen, trying to leave on her own. He stops her, refusing to let her go. This tense moment forces Shioni to finally reveal the terrible, complete truth about her curse and the real reason she has been pushing him away. Shion confesses the full extent of her curse. Her thorns are a power that will eventually consume all of existence. The Rena's Alma was never meant to save her, but to allow her to die and destroy the thorns with her. Meeting the group changed her, and she no longer wants to die. The entire group rallies around Shion, refusing to accept her sacrifice. Dohalim theorizes that the truth of her thorns is connected to the events of 300 years ago, and that a way to save her without her dying might be found on Lenegis. United, they resolve to change her fate. During the journey to Lenegis, Shion reflects on her past. When Alphen called her his friend, it shattered the walls she had built around herself. It was the first time she had been seen as a person rather than a means to an end, which ultimately gave her the desire to live. Shion reveals the misery of her life on Lenegis, where she was treated not as a person, but as a research subject for her thorns. Constant experiments and the fear she inspired in others left her in complete isolation, with a vision of oblivion as her only companion. The party discusses the society of Lenegis, which is built on a strict hierarchy determined by one's innate astral art abilities. This system of predestined social classes, even for the ruling Renans, reinforces the theme of fighting against a fate that has been forced upon them. Upon arrival, the party finds Lenegis in a state of chaos, with the city's foundations physically shifted. They decide to search for the Forbidden Zone, an area accessible only to the Sovereign. They believe it may hold the Rena's Alma and the key to the entire conspiracy. Dohalim reunites with an old friend, Avakir, learning that the citizens of Lenegis are completely unaware of the events on Dahna and the true cause of their city's transformation. This information control suggests a higher power is manipulating the entire population for a hidden purpose. The group realizes that the Sovereign of Rena, the supposed ruler of all, has never actually been seen on Lenegis. This raises questions about who is truly in control, suggesting that the entire political structure they knew was a facade to hide the real power operating behind the scenes. Dohalim is confronted by Faria, the betrothed of a friend he was forced to kill to become a lord. The painful encounter reveals the personal sacrifices and moral compromises he made in the past, burdens that he still carries and for which he feels he must atone. Dohalim confesses the full story of his friend Tarnagan's death. He took the blame to spare Faria the devastating truth that her beloved had resorted to dishonorable tactics. This act of protecting her feelings by shouldering her hatred has defined much of his lonely existence. Alphen's sovereign crest opens the way to the Forbidden Zone, triggering a vision of the past. The group witnesses a conversation between Alphen and Shion's ancestor, Naori, from 300 years ago, confirming their deep historical connection and the origins of their shared struggle. Faria, now brainwashed and wielding a master core-like stone, ambushes the party. It becomes clear that an unknown enemy is watching them and using Dohalim's loved ones against him, knowing he would hesitate to fight back. This personal attack confirms they have a calculating foe on Lenegis. Kisara advises Dohalim that he cannot atone for the past, as those who are gone cannot be brought back. Instead, she urges him to live for those who are still alive, and for the future he can still change. This shifts his perspective from self-punishment to proactive change. Another vision reveals the catastrophic failure of the spirit channeling ceremony 300 years ago. Alphen's power went berserk, and the vision of oblivion it created was the same one that haunts Shion. The connection between Alphen's power and Shion's thorny curse is made devastatingly clear. Inside a hidden laboratory, the group finds experiment records detailing the creation of the Sovereign. They learn that Sovereigns are Dahnans who were captured and re-engineered. Alphen and, shockingly, Volren are the only two successful test subjects in 300 years of horrific experiments. The records confirm the entire crown contest was a lie. No winner was ever crowned sovereign. The title was a fabrication. This means an unknown entity has been perpetuating this lie for centuries, manipulating both Renan and Dahna society for a hidden purpose, likely connected to the Red Woman. A final vision from the past shows Naori helping a wounded Alphen escape Lenegis after the failed ceremony. She places the pain-suppressing mask on him and puts him into a long-term hibernation pod on the starship, a desperate choice to save his life at the cost of his memories. Naori leaves a message from beyond the grave, explaining she sealed Alphen's rampaging power within herself, which became the curse of the thorns passed to her descendants. She created a system to buy the world time until a new sovereign and maiden could properly deal with the threat. The party reaches the heart of the conspiracy, a new spirit channeling ceremony with a catatonic Volren at its center, with machinery replacing the maiden. They are confronted by the Red Woman, who reveals her true nature by creating multiple copies of herself, confirming she is not human. The group learns the shocking truth that Volren was also a Dahnan slave, kidnapped and experimented on just like Alphen. His immense suffering twisted him, leading him to embrace the role of oppressor and inflict the same pain he endured onto his own people, whom he came to despise. The Red Women are revealed to be monsters in disguise, their true forms alien and terrifying. After a fierce battle, they self-destruct to prevent capture, but not before another escapes with the Rena's Alma, forcing the party to realize their true enemy resides on the Renan homeworld. Dohalim addresses the panicked citizens of Lenegis, whose city is failing after the explosion in the Forbidden Zone. He steps up as a leader, not as a ruler, but as a fellow person, inspiring hope and solidarity and preventing the society from collapsing into chaos and riots. Alphen and Shion reflect on their journey together, preparing a meal just as they did when they first met. What was once a tense, forced partnership has blossomed into a deep, trusting bond. They dream of a simple, peaceful future where they can share these moments without barriers. The party's starship is hijacked and disabled as they approach the Renan homeworld. They witness a horrifying sight. The planet Rena is a hollow, broken shell with a giant flower growing from it, siphoning all of Dahna's energy through Lenegis, which is acting as a conduit. The group is brought to a mysterious celestial base, Dakefazal, by an unknown force. Here, they meet a new being, Hevraekt 35, who identifies itself as a Hellgonquil. It reveals that the Red Women are its brethren and that it has been observing Rena and Dahna for years. Hevraekt 35 explains that the Hellgonquil are the true inhabitants of Rena and are controlled by the great astral spirit of their world. This sentient planetary will desires to consume Dahna's energy to survive, and the entire crown contest was a scheme devised to achieve this goal. Hevraekt 35 asks the party to kill its master, the Great Spirit, as an act of vengeance for driving the Hellgonquil to near extinction. It reveals that Lenegis has entered the final stage of the plan, and Dahna will be completely consumed if the Great Spirit is not stopped. The ultimate truth is revealed by the Renan scientists on the base. The Renans on Lenegis were never a separate race. They were created by the Hellgonquil from Dahnans who had an affinity for astral arts, intended to be a workforce to continue serving the Great Spirit after the Hellgonquil died out. Dohalim accepts the immense responsibility of guiding the Renan people after learning their true origin. He asks Alphen to act as a mediator between the former Renans and the Dahnans on Dahna, knowing that Alphen's status as a hero will be crucial in bridging the 300-year gap of hatred. After absorbing all the shocking truths, the party solidifies their resolve. They understand that their final enemy is the Great Spirit of Rena. The key to saving Shion and stopping the destruction of their world is intrinsically linked to confronting and defeating this planetary entity. Hevraekt 35 lays out the plan to defeat the Great Spirit. Shion must use her maiden powers to seal the spirit within herself, and Alphen must then use the Rena's Alma to destroy them both. Alphen vehemently refuses this sacrificial plan, holding to his promise to save Shion. An alternative is proposed, using the Rena's Alma not to destroy but to contain the Great Spirit, just as Naori had originally intended for the Thorns. Though risky, Hevraekt agrees to this plan, wishing to observe the outcome. The party now has a path to victory without sacrificing Shion. Law and Rinwell reconcile after their earlier disagreement. Law admits his fear was partly jealousy over Rinwell's unique connection to Dahna's will. Rinwell shares that this connection gives her a sense of purpose, helping her accept her heritage as a mage. Their friendship deepens through this honest exchange. Shion makes Alphen promise that if they cannot retrieve the Rena's Alma, he will use the blazing sword to destroy her and the Great Spirit. It is a grim pact, but one she feels is necessary to ensure the world is saved, showing her willingness to make the ultimate sacrifice if all else fails. Arriving at Rena, the party finds a dead world, a hollowed-out ocean covering a planet completely drained of astral energy. This desolate landscape is a stark vision of Dahna's future if they fail, a graveyard world consumed by its own ravenous spirit. The stakes have never been higher. Deep within Rena, the party finds a horrifying facility filled with the preserved bodies of Dahnans. They realize this is where the Hellgonquil perform their experiments, transforming Dahnans into Renans. It is a mass grave and a laboratory, a testament to centuries of atrocities. Rinwell makes direct contact with the Great Spirit's will, learning its motive. It is not evil, but acting out of a primal fear of its own demise. It seeks to merge with Dahna to become whole and complete, a process that will inadvertently destroy Dahna in the process. At the core of Rena, the Great Spirit manifests its physical form to confront the party. It is a being born of fear and instinct, embodying the darkness that has haunted Shion. The final battle for the fate of two worlds and Shioni's life is about to begin. After a grueling battle, the The party retrieves the Rena's Alma, and Shion begins the ceremony to seal the Great Spirit. However, Volren returns, now fused with immense power, and steals the Rena's Alma. His goal is to destroy Shioni and the spirit to become the sole ruler of existence. In their final confrontation, Alphen sees the lonely, tortured slave that Volren once was. He understands that Volren's immense strength was twisted by having no one to share it with or fight for. In a final act of empathy, Alphen forgives him before delivering the final blow. With the Rena's Alma destroyed, all seems lost. Alphen makes a desperate plea, using the energy path to Dahna to call out to the collective will of its people. He asks for their strength not just to save Shion, but to save Rena as well, ending the cycle of sacrifice for good.